Beatles broke up, Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix died. Diana Ross went solo. So who were the top 10 female artists and groups with female leads included who were the most popular music artists in this decade based on their commercial success, charts, impact and overall popularity? Number 10 on our list is beautiful Carly Simon. Simon released 8 studio albums in this decade. Her biggest success came with the album No Secrets from 1972 that became the biggest female album of that year. Simon was one of the most popular singers and songwriters of the 70s. She won a Grammy for Best New Artist, and her biggest hit singles in this decade was 1973 with You're So Vain, a song that has stirred up years of debate of whom she was singing about. Number 9 on our list is Blondie. Blondie had released 4 studio albums, each exhibiting a stylistic progression from the last. The band is known not only for striking persona and vocal performances by Debbie Harry, but for also incorporating elements in their work from numerous subgenres of music, reaching from their punk roots to embrace of new wave, disco, pop and others. Their biggest success was 1978 album Parallel Lines that has sold over 20 million copies worldwide. Number 8 on our list is Carole King. She's the most successful female songwriter of the latter half of the 20th century in the United States, having written or co-written 118 pop hits on the Billboard Hot 100. She released 10 studio albums in the 70s, the AP3 being a colossal success and sold over 25 million copies worldwide. King earned 4 Grammys and became first woman in history who won a Grammy for the Best Song of the Year. Number 7 on our list is powerhouse vocalist Linda Ronstadt. Linda was the most durable and the most gifted female rock singer of her era, signaling her wide popularity as a concert artist. Outside of the singles and charts and the recording studio, she was described as first true woman rock and roll vocalist and sold out stadium with a string of mega successful albums. She released 8 studio albums in this decade, and her most popular song was chart-topping You're No Good from 1974. Number 6 on our list is Australian Barbie doll Olivia Newton-John. John released 11 studio albums in this era. She had 3 #1 hit singles in the 70s. Her Have You Never Been Mellow album from 1975 became the biggest female album released that year. Her biggest success, of course, was monumental and iconic part in Grease soundtrack that has sold over 38 million copies worldwide, with hit singles like You're the One That I Want and Hopelessly Devoted to You. Number 5 on our list are the Carpenters, and Karen Carpenter as the lead vocalist of the brother and sister duo. Karen Carpenter has called one of the greatest female vocalists of all time by the Rolling Stone, and the type of singer who would sit you in the lap and sing in your ear. Carpenters released 8 studio albums in this decade, and her most successful one being their compilation album from 1973 that has sold over 20 million copies. Number 4 on our list is the Queen of Disco, Donna Summer. Summer's collaboration with producer Giorgio Moroder changed the face of music of this era. She became a cultural icon, and her prominence on the dance charts, for which she was referred to as the Queen of Disco, made her one of the defining voices of that era. Summer released 7 studio albums in the 70s and scored 4 #1 hit singles, biggest one being Love to Love You Baby, Hot Stuff, Bad Girls, Let's Dance on the Radio and others. Number 3 on our list is Diana Ross the Boss. Miss Ross released 10 albums in this decade and scored 4 #1 hit singles in the 70s. Billboard magazine named Ross the greatest female entertainer of the century in 1976. She earned a Guinness World Record due to her success in the United States and the United Kingdom for having more hits than any other female artist in the charts in her career, with total 70 hits singles. Number 2 on our list is Barbra Streisand. Streisand released 10 albums in this decade, most successful one being The Way We Were from 1975. Streisand was the most popular female pop artist of this decade, selling over 50 million records in this decade alone and scoring 4 #1 hit singles. Billboard also recognized her as one of the greatest female singers of all time on its 200 chart. And number 1 on our list is ABBA. Agneta and Anne Fried were leading vocalists of the group. ABBA ruled the 70s with the disco music, releasing some of the greatest and most popular songs of that decade. Their influence of the disco era was monumental, and they influenced all pop artists musically previously mentioned. They had Latin American influence, the German, Italian, English, and American, all of that. They were huge in every country globally. They released 6 studio albums in this decade, and their body of work has sold over 380 million records worldwide. Pretty impressive. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, follow me on my Instagram account and support our channel by becoming a patron on Patreon, and with a bunch of rewards help us creating together a great content with your favorite artists. Bye.